one of the things you've talked about is the opportunities for innovation and the use of technology in some of these refugee camps. And I see you brought some props with you. So these are examples of what could be done?
Yeah, these are examples. I mean, this, for instance, is very common today in our world. We help with prosthetics, printed and assembled with the most modern technology, printed by 3D printers, assembled and so on. But here, this particular hand has been done in Jordan by a Syrian refugee. By a Syrian refugee who lost a leg himself. Mm. He learned within 2 weeks how to use a 3D printer. It's a fantastic project of our partner organization, Refugee Openware. So they're setting up maker spaces in Jordan where Jordanians and Syrians alike are connected to the world, to the lab community, the fab lab community of this world. And so if there is a patient, and this is one example, is our hands, the information on that patient is shared. And I mean, to simplify it, somebody says, well, I got time and I will help to develop a new hand, a new piece, a new something, and we'll actually do that in an open source approach. So a hand like this one, instead of maybe $500, $600 a piece, you bring it down to $50, $60 a piece.
Wow.
It's not yet scaled up to the right extent, and so it's only very few patients benefiting from something like that. Mm-hmm. But that needs to be done. I mean, if you just look at the Syria crisis with over 200,000 people who have lost a piece of their body, and the technologies we have to help the blind. There are lots of blind people who lost really incredible, they lost their capacities to live properly. And at the same time, we have a lot of that technology, so why not to share it, and why not equip the people themselves to deal with this?
Yeah, it's terrific. And then what's the other device that you brought?
So the other one is another example of technology. This little thing here has been developed by a startup in Berlin, AUSD. It's called Mondia Lab. So they didn't really know what to do with this, but they invented that thing. And then they came to me and they said, this is absolutely great for poor communities. Okay. Because what is this? It's a testing device. It's basically, although there's some legal issues, you can't call it like this, but it's a medical lab. It has the same capacity as a I wouldn't say multi-million-dollar lab, but as a real lab which tests you. This thing can test you for cancer, for Ebola, for malaria, for pregnancy, for anything what has to do with sort of the most common diseases. It's a biomarker process. The thing costs about $400. This little thing, you can have it in your pocket, and it can do 5,000 tests without having to be charged. So that is, of course, a game changer. When I'm sitting in the middle of nowhere, I can test myself because I got a fever. I find out whether I have malaria or not. I transfer the results of that to a doctor who sits God knows where. I can not only consult with the doctor, but I can also provide, of course, with geolocation. I can provide exactly a mapping of where we would have a malaria outbreak.
It's that connectivity you were talking about, too.
It's, again, connectivity. Yeah. It brings us down from this sort of logic. It's, again, for instance, health is only accessible to the people who can afford it or who are near a big and costly facility. That makes health accessible to all of us. It's one example of thousands of products, and that's also what we would like with the Innovation and Planning Agency and the Project Switchboard to make more visible, and actually also help companies or inventors, startups who have such products to scale them up. And there we can again combine not only charity, but it's also business. Why not? There has to be, of course, an economic logic behind this. But let's develop it, and that will change the world.